Welcome again, once again, with Reverend Dr. Floyd E. Harris, Jr. We are at New Life Church of God, our TV studio. We are here to interview a follow-up with Mr. Charles Taylor, a good friend of mine, a revolutionary brother who has an international case that's been going on for quite some time dealing with his daughter. It's a case that has been, that's going to take off. It's on the runway right now. And I have been fortunate to be involved in it, to know of the case. And we're just glad to have him back here with us today. Today is International Human Rights Day, and I believe that his case falls right there with the international human rights violation. And hey, welcome again. How are you, sir? Great, glad to have you on our show again. And I know the last time you was here, you gave us a lot of good information. Apologize for not getting back to our TV audience sooner, but you know me, I'm like an octopus. I'm here, there, everywhere. But I do try to make time for our cases and situations to let the world know what is going on. Our last segment, we had interviewed Ms. Jennifer White, who's a journalist who interviewed me about the police issues going on all over the world. And so Brother Charles, bring us up to speed on where the case is now. This is, again, a follow-up to see what has transpired, what steps you have taken since our last interview session with you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Reverend Harris. First of all, I would like to thank the Almighty God for this opportunity once again to be the president of one of my heroes that I have so admire, Dr. Reverend Harris, a man that never sleeps, and for surely these people serving. He's always serving the people. Just a little back review, let's backtrack a little bit. So to those who are not familiar, in 1997, I was married to a Finnish woman. Her name was Mirja Orikala, Karen Orikala, from Finland. She's Finnish. And she, we had a dispute about the way that our child should be raised. She got involved with some sect that she called some form of religion where their lifestyle was not in accordance with the divine order in the way that my parents raised me. So therefore, I figured that the only way that our daughter can have a balanced education on the facts of life and so forth is to get away from her and teach her the way that I was raised. And so here we have a custody battle. And the amazing thing about it was that the question that where we are right now in my particular plight is that I have 15 years, going on 15 years, trying to convince the authority of the country of Finland that they got no right to separate me from my daughter. All of these baseless charges that the mother brought against me was proven in the court of law. I was acquitted. And therefore, we would have thought that I would begin to be united with my daughter. But because of this strong, hostile person that has a strong will, that she has been able to take what is basically simple, the fundamental, the rights of how a family, a child, father and mother should raise a child. So, and because I was raised in a right way, I know the difference between right and wrong. And so all of those who are sitting out there, and to the Finnish nation, I proclaim in the name of the Almighty God, the creator of all human beings, the creator of all life, that for this particular matter where a woman, she's mentally disturbed, can be that evil to train a child to turn against her father, this is not acceptable nowhere on earth. So therefore, what happened was that When it got to the district court, I was acquitted. They appealed it. The appeal court found me guilty. We took it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court upheld the district court appeal court decision. And so therefore, the only option I had was to take it to the European Human Rights Court. With the grace of Almighty God, I succeeded. I won the case, and it can be found in the European Human Rights Court. I'll give you all the information afterwards. Reverend Harris, he has it, where you can go and read about this case. After 9 years, and they ruled that it was broke my human rights, it was a violation, that they had to take it back to the Supreme Court of the country of Finland for them to order the appeal court to have a retrial, in which they should have done that from the very beginning, but they dropped all charges and I was free of the matter. So I'm thinking that now, at least I get a chance to try to rebuild the bond with my daughter. But to my surprise, this never seems to stop to amaze me how that this person continued to have a country like Finland to submit to her demands. So they told me in order for me to get my daughter's medical records and all the things that was, given to me in the district court, that I have a right, my visitation right, would be restored, it was denied again. And the only reason why it was denied this time was because I have already won all the charges been dropped, was because they retaliated. So Finland, I want you all to hear this, because what is going to happen when you didn't take advantage and do what you're supposed to do, that was to make an example out of this rotten woman, so that no one else would try to pull a stunt like she did. For failing to do that, now the whole country of Finland is going to have to be made an example. And believe me, it is being done. July the 27th, 1914, Emilia Free Foundation has been established. We are committed to make sure that no child deserves this kind of treatment. Her name is Emilia. It could be Cecilia, it could be Jean, it could be Dean, it could be Linda or Brenda. We are here to let them know that the human rights of a child and a father cannot be broken. No one can take that from them, and that we are committed to make sure that the world knows the injustice that's been done to me. For 15 years, almost 15 years, I have not seen my daughter. And the only reason why is because the leaders of Finland have got no bones, no spell, no spine to stand up against this. So therefore, we're letting them know that their kingdom, Nidia, and all of her troops, all of those that worship her, I would never bow down and worship them. So therefore, the world is going to know their names and know that this is a disgrace and a shame that the country of Finland have leaders that do not have the strength to stand up and take this right. You see what you should do? And this is one of the most significant things that you will ever learn in life. Do never give your birthright over to no one. Guard your mind. Protect your mind. And since Finland did not have the strength to stand up against this here, I'm letting it be known. We're partnered with Reverend Harris's organization, with the proactive groups in all over the world, standing up to fight this kind of discrimination. It's happening in the news all over today, whether it's in Ferguson, whether it's in Finland, whether it's in Fresno, wherever discrimination against a man to dehumanize a human being is the worst kind of abuse that you can do. And you must pay. We are calling on all those that are responsible to be held accountable for what they have done. And we are making it known that we are not stopping. And if I happen to die along the way, the foundation is committed. It's over. In other words, Finland, I am calling upon the United States President to address a letter to him to give it to the President of Finland. And these are the words we want to know. It's over, Finland. Where in the world a custody battle turns into a criminal case? The question is that we want to ask The Finnish government, the rulers of this country, the president of Finland, how in the world did they allow a mentally disturbed person take a custody battle and turn it to a criminal case? And if she was able to undermine all of these leaders are dangerous. They're ruthless. And they must be exposed. And we'll let it be known. With the partnership of Reverend Harris, the NAACP, all of them, we'll contact them, letting them know that I'm asking everyone out there to pray, to meditate, to do whatever you can, that this child, Emilia, will be saved. They have taken the childhood away from me. Help me so they would not take her adulthood. Let her know the truth so that she can be united with her family, and we can remove her from harm's way. And that this mother, what they should have done, they should have captured her. When she struck the match to tear down a family, they should have captured her before she let the fire run wild and put it out. Now Reverend Harris and the Emilia Free Foundation, we come to put out the fire, to stop the hemorrhages. So you don't have to be afraid anymore, Finland. So that the future children and the present children of Finland would not have to be under these kinds of leaders. They cannot continue to rule over people in this fashion. So we're going to educate them, and all of them, that nowhere on earth a mother turns against a child, she betrays the child, she deceives her child, she lies to the child turns on the father, hates the father, believes a myth that she's been sexually abused, and all of these here, through the human rights, what happened to the Children Protective Service? What happened to the social system? What happened to the medical field? What happened to the judicial system in Finland? They have all failed. Therefore, we are letting it be known before the world that Media Ricola is over with. Checkmate. Tell us, and I want the human family, the global citizens to be there. We want them to come before the world and tell us how in the world that a mentally disturbed woman has been able to manipulate the whole entire government. And not a one stood up to ask, wait a minute, if she was able to do all of this, then how can we trust these leaders? How is it that they could not pick out this rotten apple when they were told? I told the sergeant in Finland that the mother orchestrated this whole thing. They all laugh and say, are you threatening us? Well, they have been already brought before the European Human Rights Courts. It's on record. Now it's going to be on record before the world that you cannot dehumanize a human being and expect them to not stand up. You got no right to take this away from me. You got no right to have a child grow up in a myth. And you are responsible as leaders to put this child in a safe haven, or out of the harm's way, and be an accomplishment, being a participant, being one that helped her, to assist her, to see that this be done. This is a sin. And you all have taken place and partaken. Because in this world we live in, a father or anyone that would do this thing to a child, it is abomination before God. It is absolutely a sin. So these kinds of things and accusations, charges against a person are serious. Therefore, we are saying, take this woman, Media Ricola, put her now somewhere, get my daughter out of harm's way so we can build our life and live the rest of our lives. So the world can see that day and say, thank God, free at last, free at last. My daughter Emilia will be free at last. Thank all of y'all for your time.
You know, Brother Charles, I was listening to you, and I could feel your sincerity. I can feel your emotions, and it seems to be, you know, we had the Ferguson that just happened. We've had the Oscar grant. You know, many police issues I've dealt with over the years, traveling across the world. We were with Reverend Al Sharpton at one time, and we broke away, started our own organization, National Network in Action. You know, I went to Vallejo, we organized 300 people to march on the Vallejo Police Department. So injustice is not something that's new to me. What concerns me is that I'm starting to see a pattern now with black males and their children being taken away in a case like this, being taken away by police brutality, being taken away by whatever the reasons is. But I'm starting to see and sense a pattern when it comes to black males and their children being taken away from them, as if it's really nothing, like it's the thing to do, like no one is not going to say anything, like the father. I mean, you're not a deadbeat dad, you know, and even deadbeat dads, I think somewhere inside of them they love their child somewhere, but they may not be able to have the finances or the resources or whatever. Sometimes, as a father dealing as a black man, so I'm gonna have a show on the title "Black Man," because I don't really feel that people understand what we go through eternally.
The equality
Exactly,
is what's missing.
Right.
The value of a black person. Out of all of this that this mother has done to the child, they value white over this. My daughter was 3 at the time. These leaders have had no compassion for a 3-year-old. No compassion, and absolutely void of empathy of a man that's been suffering. I've been asking to give my daughter my love, deep love and affection. No one can take that away. You see, Finland, you couldn't take away my mind, you couldn't take away my education. Therefore, you have lost. It's over. You all sit there and watch, all of you all have watched this enslavement of a father and a child and stood back, observing, turning a blind eye. Well, we come to tell you that wherever we find injustice, if it's injustice to one child, it's injustice to every child. And we are standing to build our foundation. It is to make sure that every child has the right to be raised in an upright manner and to enjoy life which was freely given to me by God, my child, to be a part of us, and therefore no one got the right to take it, and we are letting it be known.
And you know, and that's why at this segment that I felt led to put the scale right here. And I knew you were coming today, and it represents you. And if you look at the scale is level. It's not teeter-totter. If it's teeter-totter, then that means there's more on one end than it is on the other end, right? And that's where America is right now, is teeter-totter. If the playing field is not level, the injustice right now is so ingrained right now, all over the country. Not just here in America, in Mexico, and Finland, all over the country. And it's going to take leadership. And I said that at the last segment with Miss White, is that we are missing the leadership in the community, that those will stand and put their life on the line. And it's time out that we give people a free pass just because they wear a certain title, or a bishop, or a reverend, or a pastor. People have to be held accountable for what position and things that they're leading in. And today, I'm gonna let you know, and today is International Human Rights Day today. Right. At 5 o'clock we have a press conference. And it's a serious day. It's a serious day. Because there are many hurting people. We have mentally ill people who are being shot and gunned down by police officers. That's not right. We have a father here whose daughter has been taken away from him. His rights has been violated. Do you know the feeling of a parent to have his child? He will do anything to have his child within reason for she to be or he to be okay. But today we have bad policy. Today we have bad leaders. And that's why it's important. That's why I'm glad I'm at an institution called New Life for New Life Church of God. And that I'm sit up under a pastor who has spine. I sit up under a man who don't go along to get along. I'm part of an organization called National Network in Action. We're not handcuffed to the system. See, and that's the problem we have today, is that people are handcuffed to the system to where they cannot stand up to be a man or to be a woman. So you're right. This has to come out, because I'll bet you this, he is not the only father. Is not the only father, and it could be other fathers of different ethnic. But the situation, he's not the only one. He just had the courage to stand up and fight the system where other people may have given up a long time ago, right? To say, you know, I can't go up against the government. You can't buck City Hall. You can't buck the government. But you set a precedent for Finland and the United States and the United Nations that now you have given people hope who might feel hopeless to go up against a system and a government of Finland. And that's why it's very important, ladies and gentlemen, that you hear his story. And I'm going to, this week, get more information to push on our Facebook and on our website and on our YouTube. This segment here will be uploaded to YouTube, because that child, injustice, Dr. King said it best. He said, injustice to one is an injustice to all. So if we see one injustice that's taking place, it's my obligation to stand up as a black man and a father and a pastor and a civil rights leader. Those are four things that God has called me to do to lead in this country. Because if you look at history, you will see that the black man has always been oppressed for over 400 years. 400 years till today, we dealing with the Ferguson issue, Mike Brown. 400 years till today, we dealing with Oscar Grant down in Oakland. 400 years today, we're dealing with the Torres family whose son was handcuffed, put him back in a police car, and shot dead by a cop who we could not even get out of the back seat. So there's injustice all over this place, and it's going to take strong men like myself and like my brother here to stand up. See, I put my life on the line daily. 365 days a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. No, I don't answer to nobody but God. So when God told Brother Charles, he said, it's time for you to stand, my brother. He didn't say like Moses, well, I don't have the resources to go up against Pharaoh. He said, you don't worry about Pharaoh. You do what I tell you. You move and go after and do what I tell you. Am I right or wrong?
Obedience to God. That's the key.
Obedience to God, family. So therefore, this case here, listen to me good as we close. This case here is going to be busted wide open real soon. See, the groundwork is being laid, right? See, when you build a house, you got to level the land. When you build a house, then you come in and survey it. Then you put the wood up to pour the cement. And then after the cement is poured, then you start putting up the walls and the structure. And after you put the structure, then you come in and you start doing electrical. And then you start putting the sheetrock and the lights and the fixtures and the doors. See, that's what this father is doing. He's laying a foundation for everything, see? Because he's going to show the world, not just Finland, the world, what has taken place of the injustice of his daughter. Injustice to one is an injustice to all. And if we as black people have been enslaved in this country for over 400 years, over 400 years today, and we're still suffering. Our children are still being taken away from us. See, and that's why, Brother Charles, when I seen Mike Brown father, when he laid his son to rest, and there was a picture that was taken that I look at every day, that is my motivation, that I have a child. That Mike Brown father, I could have been sitting in the same seat in front of a casket
That's right, brother.
That there, when I seen him sit in front of that seat, in front of that casket, he getting ready to put his son in the ground, he hollered out to the tip of his lung. And every day I see that picture, I see myself in there. And that's what gives me the motivation to keep moving, standing for justice. It doesn't matter who comes with me. God is always with me when man flees from us.
That's right, brother.
And so I know that God is with this brother. God is with me. God is with that child. And I'm going to let him have the last words before we close the segment. We will be having another follow-up. Another follow-up. And if you can, give your contact information for those who may want to get in contact.
Well, we have a video that's already been put out. In this video, Finland, it would be taking you all back to the basis fundamental of moral consciousness. Watch it. Learn from it. And as I said, I think it was Mark Twain that said, the two significant things in life you ever learn is that when you were born, the next significant thing you ever know or learn is that your purpose for what you was born for. We as human beings, we are guardians. We are moral guardians of the earth. We have to protect these children because in God's eyes, they are all equal. And how can a nation, you see, Bishop Tutu, he said that the worst kind of abuse that you can do on earth is to dehumanize another human. The history of democracy has been proven that humans trying to dominate other humans has been a total failure. With the grace of God, I come before you all and say, look in the mirror. Take a psychological evaluation of yourselves and ask yourself, do you know the difference from right and wrong? And if you do, you can decipher this from good from bad, then now you know the benefit. The wages of sin, Finland, is death. And all of those that participated, all of you that worship and praise Mary Arikala, it's over. Because we will now, whoever's the smartest, whoever the wisest, whoever got the most power in Finland, we challenge them to come before the world and tell us how in the world they allow a mentally disturbed woman turn a custody battle into a criminal case and then give the officials turn around and want to put the man in prison. I'm going to come to you, Reverend, and say, you know what, I'm going to barge into your house, I'm going to take your child, and then when you try to fight, I'm going to say I'm going to put you in prison. For what? For defending that which God freely gave you? It's over, Finland. You see, when I was fighting you all alone, one man, and not one of you all was strong enough or smart enough to defeat him, he remains victorious because he has faith. He remains victorious because he knows the truth. And that is what you cannot win against. You cannot beat the word of God. That's why it's over. It is checkmate. Because now we would like for you to explain. How could you all be so foolish? Professional fools. The judicial system, your Supreme Court judges, fools. Your professional doctors that was examining my daughter, fools. Because you stood back and you did not a one, to rescue and say, wait a minute, where's your consciousness? Do you know that this will leave a long-term severe damage to this child? You must pay for what you have done. Thank you, Brother.
We'd like to thank you for this segment with Mr. Charles Taylor. He is fighting for justice for his daughter in Finland. We are in full support of his brother and his daughter. You heard the passion in his voice today. You heard the story and the different levels of what is taking place. And always remember, injustice to one is an injustice to all. And I think that we have to understand today, if I have a problem, you have a problem. If you have a problem, I have a problem. We have gotten away of being our brothers and sisters keepers in this country. This country has segregated us so much that when segregation